I think we're live. Hello, Penguins. This has been quite an adventure here in these last few months. I've gotten to experience some things I never have. I've never been on YouTube before, and we've got to do those YouTube lives, and never been on Facebook live stream before, and got a chance to experience that. And now another milestone in my long life. I get to experience Instagram Live. So hopefully we'll be able to answer some questions. But just to kind of reiterate some of the real focus things that we wanted to talk about last week was that here we are now with just 26 days to go before we come back to school. And we've been so excited about getting back here together, enjoying some of the things, getting to be with our faculty members, getting to be with one another. And I just want to keep reminding you, the better we do these next 26 days, the better opportunity we're going to have the type of fall semester that we're really looking forward to. And so that's that social distancing. We've got to wash those hands constantly. You know, we have hand sanitizer for you in your welcome packets. We'll talk a little bit later about. We have our hand washing units. And then, of course, masks, face coverings. We have to make sure that we protect one another. Remember, we talked about that Penguin Pledge, that first and foremost, we're going to take care of ourselves, and that we're going to take care of others, and then we're going to take care of our campus, and then we're going to make sure we take care of the community, because we're very involved in the community. Some of us live at home, some of us live right here in the city. We go to the establishments, we go into the schools to help the local students, we go into the hospitals for clinicals, we go on internships. We've got to make sure we take care of the community. So remember the old saying, don't make me ask, wear your mask. So important that we have a great 26 days and we get into the academic year and we really do a great job. It's going to look a little differently. It's not going to be the exact same as we've always had it. But it's going to be so good to get back here. It's going to be so exciting. And so today, what we're planning on doing is we've gotten some questions sent in advance. We talked a lot last week about the different modalities that the classes will be offered. Hopefully you've had a chance to look on your schedule and see which of the 5 different modalities that each of your individual classes is being offered. And there's been a question that's been asked quite often, and that's the question of the $100 distance fee on some of the classes. And so as you remember, we have traditional face-to-face all the way to strictly web-based. And then the in-between modalities are hybrid of sorts. And so, as you know, our faculty's been working on getting 4,000 classes put together. 4,000 different individual classes. And how are we going to get that done? With proper social distancing in our classrooms, with making sure that everyone is safe, making sure everyone is comfortable, everyone is in the modality that they're interested in being in as much as possible. And so in those 4,000 classes, about 600 of them are what we call web-based. So on your schedule, it would be WB. And in those 600 web-based classes out of 4,000, there is a $100 distance fee. And so we wanted to clarify the whys and the wherefores. There are costs in terms of creating those strictly web-based. There's training, extra training that our faculty has had to work on. They've had to do an amazing amount of work to get those put together so that you could take those web-based classes at your convenience, at your pace. And so in those 600 classes, there will be the $100 distance fee. We've had some changing and moving back and forth on our scheduling. Our registrar's office, our bursar, Jeannie Herman and Sue Ewing and all of the people in those areas are making sure that with some of the changes, you know, we have to make some adjustments in your schedules and so forth. But be patient with us. Again, I can't tell you how hard our Office of Academic Affairs and faculty have worked to get us those modalities so we can come back here to campus and be together. And so stick with us a little bit about some of this billing, but I wanted to clarify, if it's strictly web-based, there is a $100 fee. The second question that seems to be being asked quite often is, well, what happens when someone has found that they have the COVID-19? And so just a reminder that we want you to get used to going to our coronavirus website and making yourself familiar with what happens if certain things occur. And so remember that ysu.edu/coronavirus. Anytime you have a question and there's not someone right there, or maybe you don't want to call the Penguin Service Center on everything, go on to that website, and you'll notice if you're a student on the website, it will tell you to notify the Office of Student Outreach and Support. And the director will then contact down along the normal path that we need to do to make sure we take the right steps when we have someone. And you know what? We're going to have some folks test positive. That's just the way it is. We're going to have some folks with the symptoms and so forth. We need to protect one another. That's why we want you every day as the day begins, take your temperature. My temperature was 97.2 this morning. Seems to be my sweet spot. Every once in a while it's 97.0, but take that temperature, really assess how you're feeling. And if you don't feel well, we want to protect one another, and we want to take care of ourselves, and then make sure that we're familiar with that. So students, the website will talk to you about going to the Office of Student Outreach. Employees will notify their supervisor, and then they'll go through HR and so forth, and then we'll take the steps needed. And as you know, we've got for some of the people that live here on campus, we've got some space reserved if we do end up needing to do some isolation, quarantine type things. Obviously, if you live in one of the great facilities we have around campus, like the Edge or the Flats or Enclave or Campus Lofts or any of those, fortunately, you can go there and isolate, because there's great facilities with your own bathroom and bedrooms and so forth. And obviously, if you stay at home, if it comes up, you need to be at home and take care of yourself first, so that you can make sure you take care of the campus as we go. And then the second part of that question is, how will students be notified if someone in their class has COVID and maybe they were exposed? And our public health department has been a tremendous partner throughout this entire 4 or 5 months. We've been working almost daily with the local health department, because part of our Penguin Pledge is to protect our community, and the local health department responsibility is our community. And so through our public health department, we will have contact tracing, and we'll be identifying and maybe contacting some people if we find that's necessary. A third part of that question that was asked was, is there a way to report that you have the COVID on your YSU app? And currently, right now, the answer is no, but rather at the website with the ysu.edu COVID outreach support. But again, if you become very familiar with our coronavirus website, you'll be able to navigate through all of those types of things and handle every situation that comes. A third question outside of that distance fee and then the what happens question was brought up. With the university requiring masks, will they be provided if someone lost or forgot or don't have one? And the answer to that is an emphatic yes. Each student and employee will be provided a For Pete's Sake packet when you come back to campus. And that For Pete's Sake packet, you say that 10 times, will include face coverings, some hand sanitizer. Obviously, we've provided the hand washing units where 7,000 penguins can wash their hands every hour. So we ought to have the cleanest hands in America with that type of opportunity. And obviously, the 6-foot social distancing, we've got to make sure that we do that. So yes, we are requiring masks. We will provide them more. And again, we'll say it a million times. I showed you this one, but I guess I'll do it with this one. Don't make me ask, wear your mask. And you know, someone asked, how will this be enforced? Because it's a requirement. And the way that we have it defined, if you will, is that uh, we know occasionally, you know, someone's going to mess up and not have their mask on or whatever. But if repeated violations of any of the coronavirus safety and health policy, the student or employee will be sent to, or I guess the student, just for the student experience, student conduct department. Employees will be handled through human resources, HR department. But we hope that we don't ever have to get to anything like that, because we want all of us, every Penguin, to have that pledge that we are going to take care of ourselves, we are going to take care of others, we are going to take care of this YSU campus, and we're going to make sure that we are a tremendous part of this community, and we're going to take care of the community. So we need to wear those face coverings. And one of the things that the staff here doesn't like it when I have a lot of ideas, because usually I come up with the ideas and then they have to do them. But one of the things I said is we ought to get a For Pete's Sake patrol to go out maybe around campus and just to remind folks, hey, don't walk by that hand washing unit, or hey, you know, there's a few of us too close together at this point, or hey, don't make me ask, wear your mask, whatever. But we'll see about that For Pete's Sake patrol. Only about a third of the ideas I come up with do my people end up liking and putting into place, but we'll see how that one goes. Next question that came in advance here. What if you have a medical condition that does not permit you to wear a mask? Again, a reminder, become familiar with the ysu.edu /coronavirus website, and there is the way that someone who has a situation, condition, whatever it happens to be, that they just can't take part in that, you'll be able to go through Disability Services, and you can go right in the Disability Services website, and there's fill out the forms and documentation and so forth, and then we'll need you to communicate, you know, with your faculty member or with whoever you're around, and they're wondering why you know that you don't have your face covering or whatever it happens to be. But if you have any questions, Disability Services number is 941-1372. But again, all of this information is on the website, and you know, the more familiar we all are with what's expected, the better we do for the next 26 days. It's going to have so much to do with the extraordinary 2021 academic year that we want to have here on campus. So we thought that it might be fun, rather than have me just sitting here reading questions and so forth. Let's see here. I've got, do I push this view? Wait a minute. This, I told you this is my first time on live Instagram.
Yep.
I push view. Okay. I wanted to invite the president here. Let's see where.
The first one was USGA.
Okay. Add. I wanted to invite Justin to come on, our SGA president, and as we were talking, preparing for this live Instagram, there's Justin. Justin's got that clean new haircut.
Yeah, it's almost bald.
There, Justin. Huh? You're looking sharp. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you know, you students have a lot more of the answers to the questions because you've been asking the questions.
Right.
And so what I thought we'd do is we'd have a little duel here, the duel of presidents. Okay. So Justin, you get to ask me a couple questions and we'll see how I do.
All right.
And they've given me some answers, so I hope I can do okay. And then I'm going to ask you some questions, which I'm not sure we gave you the answers to those in advance. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. But so fire away, Justin.
All right. So the first question we had was about student organizations, and so Will student organizations be allowed to request rooms on campus still? And will student organizations be allowed to host campus events following CDC guidelines?
Absolutely. Thanks for asking that question, because a lot of the discussion we had on last week's Facebook live stream, YouTube, was about the academic side of things.
Right.
And we started getting more questions after. Say, okay, I got that down. Now, what about all those other things that I enjoy? And so
Right.
starting August 3rd, Kilcawley Center will begin making room reservations. But the thing we have to keep in mind is that all of the constraints or all of the suggestions for a good, safe campus will be enforced. Social distancing, numbers of large group get-togethers, and so forth. So when you go for a room reservation, I'm sure they'll have a list of exactly what you need to meet.
Right.
And then that's one of the big reasons, that we want to be back together. Is there's so many of those things that we miss seeing one another, and we all know, we believe totally at Youngstown State that your education is in the classroom and outside of the classroom.
Right. Okay. And then the next question we got from, I believe, Instagram or one of the social medias was, I know this is specific, but I planned on opening an improv student organization. So how would that work?
So now, Justin, you're talking to kind of a dinosaur. What is an improv?
It's more of it's like an acting, but like with no script. So essentially, it's basically
Well, give
acting.
me
Yeah,
an
with just no
improv.
script.
Just give
What
me
do you want?
give
What do
me
you
a random improv,
give
Justin.
me. I'm not a good actor, but I don't know. What do you want to see?
Act like a student government president.
Oh God, I don't know how to do that.
You don't know how to do that yet? Well,
I'll have
come
to
on,
call
you got to get to
Carolyn.
work and start practicing. But we do have an improv group on campus already.
Right.
We have
Yeah.
an organization, and
Okay.
I've heard, even though I don't know what they do, and I'm not sure I could ever do an improv, I do know that they're looking for more members. And
Right.
so, what I would do is get a hold of the student organization office, student experience over there in Kilcawley, and see if you can become part of the improv team.
Yeah, I will. I'll look into that myself for sure. Maybe I can practice. Um, so the last question I have for you, is there an update on international students?
Well, we're so looking forward to our international students coming back, and I know that it's been as much of a struggle as it's been for all of us who could go home, whether it was locally or to Chicago or Pennsylvania or wherever we're from. This has been a real challenge, and we can't wait to see them. And I know our international office has been in close contact and working through the logistics of following all the guidelines and so forth. And so we're anticipating and can't wait for them to get back. And there'll be some things, that hoops that they have to jump through, but we have a great office over there that will take good care of them and make sure they do things properly and legally, and get them to have that opportunity to come do what they dreamed of doing, is getting a college education from an American university, and a great one like YSU.
Absolutely.
All right,
And
so
with my
that was three easy ones. You gave me three
right,
easy
there's
ones. So
more. There's more.
I'm gonna give you a couple tough ones. All right.
All right.
And so whatever you do, everyone out there watching, make sure he doesn't look down at his notes, because I want
No,
I
I'll turn
want
them
to make
over.
sure he knows the answers to these. So
God.
when is the Student Leadership Summit, and how are you going to do it?
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, the Student Leadership Summit is an awesome opportunity for student organizations to understand how to do various things for their organization, like reserve rooms or secure funding through Student Government Association, different things like that. And so, it's a very important event that we host. So, Student Experience and Student Government kind of host it every year, every semester actually. And so, this year, just like a lot of things were like event wise, it's going to look a little different. So it is going to be a virtual event this year, but with it being a virtual event, it also does have some benefits. So for example, if you forget something, it's going to be recorded. It's going to be accessible for students. So that's like an awesome thing. But as far as the specific date, it's going to be in August, obviously. So sometime next month. But with this like changing platform and everything going on, we haven't really solidified a specific date because we're looking at either hosting it on a Friday or hosting it on a Saturday. Because normally with an in-person event, a lot of people are available on Saturdays, but with it being virtual, we're floating the idea of possibly hosting it on Friday. But there will be a Student Leadership Summit, and it will be virtual.
Well, I've always enjoyed that Student Leadership Summit day because at the end of the summit, they always come over to my house and we have hot dogs. And I have like 6 hot dogs. So are you going to serve virtual hot dogs on that day?
I believe, is there a hot dog emoji? I think, yeah, maybe
Okay, we'll serve them via emoji. Okay.
Right.
All right. He said, good job on that one, Justin. Justin claims he's the most talented president on campus. And so we have this battle going, and I think it's going to take all year to find the results of that one. So second question, Justin, will there be campus events happening?
Yes, absolutely. The campus events, we're really encouraging, like I said, the virtual events, just for social distancing and make sure that our penguins are safe. But assuming you're talking about like the university sponsored events, such as like Penguin Nights, Homecoming, and different things like that, those events, certain ones coming up, so the Welcome Week and stuff like that are very soon, but the ones like Homecoming and Penguin Nights, there's still time to kind of gauge where the university policy goes, as well as the government, the governor's regulations and stuff. So those haven't been solidified in what format they'll be given, but we will make sure to get that information out to you as soon as we're able to give that information to you. But I know Student Activities was working really hard to plan those events. And make sure that they're as close to normal as we can get, while also making sure that we keep our penguins safe.
This isn't on the script for us, Justin, and it's just something that's floating around in my head. I wonder what we're going to do with Ignite, because I've really enjoyed Ignite for the past, I guess this is going on 7 years.
Right.
And it's fun to see the new class coming in and the class of 2024 coming in, and we've always had the big class picture out on the field and all that thing. So we'll have to save that for another day, because unless you know the answer.
I don't. I do know that as an orientation leader, Ignite leader, I have full confidence in Leslie Page in making sure that however it's given to students, it'll be phenomenal. So.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know if we could do a virtual class photo. Maybe. We'll have to think about that. Okay.
Right.
You have one other one here, Justin. What's the protocol for tabling, bake sales? I know that some of the fun at the beginning of the academic years, you get to walk around the whole center of campus and you see people talking about this and that. We had like T-shirts for $1 and you could buy this, and student organizations had some good food out there. And so what's up with that?
Yeah, so like you said, tabling is an important part of our student organizations, raising money for philanthropies and for themselves. And I'm in Student Government Association. We table. Sigma Alpha Epsilon. We table. So I understand the importance of it. So the university also sees that. And so what we're looking to do is have tabling for students. Except again, it's going to look a little different. So those tablings are going to be outdoors only for now. Again, just to make sure that our students are staying safe, and there's more space for students to social distance, and so that's definitely going to be something that we're continuing to do. It's just going to be outdoors. As for the bake sales, like I said, that's like an awesome way to make sure we're raising money for philanthropies and stuff. However, there's a lot of like liability issues and stuff because the food comes from a lot of times students' homes, and we don't really know what's going on. So to keep our students safe, there won't be any bake sales for now, but I think this is an awesome opportunity for our student organizations to come up with virtual events to raise money or different things like that. And I don't know, President Tressel, what do you think? Maybe student government can help come up with like a list of fundraising, like virtual fundraising ideas or different things like that. I think we could definitely work on that and put it on our website. So,
the philanthropies have really become creative all over the world, with the virtual fundraising efforts. So I know we have creative students, so we'll make sure that they get that done.
Right.
Well, a president's only as good as their vice president.
Oh, yeah.
And so, Justin, I feel bad for you that because my man Avery is your vice president, and I know you've been trying to work with them and so forth.
Absolutely.
But so I'm going to have you hand the baton off to Avery because he's kind of like my hero, and
Right.
so when I get his age, I want to be just like him. So if
Right.
we could get him on the line, because
Absolutely.
I've got a couple tough questions for Avery.
Okay. He should be joining on his YSU gram, he said. So I'm going to
Okay,
disconnect now and he'll join for you.
okay, Justin.
All right. Nice seeing you, President
Have a good
Tressel.
one. Thanks for
You
spending
too.
time with us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're waiting for, here we go. I'm getting to be an expert on this. Push view and then push YSU Graham Avery, push add. Oh man, I could do this for a living now, but I don't see Avery. It says waiting for Avery. Oh, there's my hero. Man,
Isn't it great to always meet your heroes? I think it's a
I
great
tell you
thing.
what, when
Yeah.
I get to be your age, I am going to be just like you. And so we're going to have the same format.
Okay.
All right. Now, just for you viewers out there that don't know Avery, I think everyone in the world knows Avery, but Avery is our vice president of student government. And so he has volunteered to throw some tough questions at me and see if I can answer them. And then I'm going to throw some equally difficult but important questions that people have been asking. So you
Okay.
fire away.
Perfect. Okay. So President Tressel, I don't know, you've been up and up on me. So if you haven't known, I've been living here throughout the whole semester from fall to spring to summer. But some people went home. Some people went back home. So for students that went back home, will students be allowed to move in early this year if they need to?
Well, I've got the answer to your question here because they gave it to me. We are anticipating requests and we have an extended move-in time. You know, it used to be quite an event where, man, it was like a traffic jam and there were all kinds of people and so forth. But you can fill out a form online if you can't meet the exact day that you're assigned. And I don't have the days, you probably know them. Freshmen are certain days, and so give me those if you have them.
I don't have per
Oh, you
se.
don't have them. Okay.
No.
See, I think August 10th and something are the upperclassmen or freshmen.
I believe freshman.
Okay, freshmen. We'll look that up while we're talking. But
Mm.
the bottom line is we want it to be safe. You know, we want it to be kind of spread out. We've extended the length of time that people can move in, and there is a form online if you have, you know, let's say an extenuating circumstance and you need to not even be on one of those days that we've prescribed, as long as it doesn't make another day too crowded, you'll be able to do that.
Perfect. You know,
Okay, and we're looking for those dates.
10th to 13th for freshmen.
August 10th through the 13th for freshmen coming in, class of 2024, and then the upperclassmen move in.
It'll be that weekend prior.
Okay, we're still looking for that. See, technology, you can find out things fast. You know, you don't have to say, I'll send you a letter and it gets there in 3 days, you know.
14th.
yeah, no, back in my day, we had to do that, you know.
Back in your day?
There was a pigeon or the bottle, you know, either one that, you know, worked.
Man, pigeon. Man, that's 14th, 15th, 16th upperclassmen can move back in. Okay,
Perfect.
fire away.
So with that, so we're moved in, we have it, we're there, I'm home. How much is that going to cost me? You know, tuition and housing costs, has that changed or we're still kind of doing the same?
Well, the tuition and housing costs in the facilities that we own, Leiden House, Cafaro House, Kilcawley House, are with their room and their meal ticket, their board, is $4,850 per semester. Okay. I know some of the other outlying groups, you know, they have their own contracts for what the courtyard costs or the edge or the enclave. The one that I heard is really a deal is Beekner Hall. Man, I heard Beekner Hall is like, that's the deal, but the waiting list for Beekner Hall goes like from here all the way to Warren. So it's
probably the prepared food, the prepared lunch and dinner that really gets people in there.
Is that what they have there? They have the homemade?
They will pack your lunch and make you dinner, and so all you have to do is pick it up.
Man, that sounds like what your dad does for you. Doesn't he pack your lunch? No, you pack his, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
gotta take care of my kids.
Okay. All right, man. I'm ready. Hit me with another one.
So me, I have good credit, so I don't want to mess it up. So when will I be able to pay my bill? When will I pay my tuition? Have it paid off on time?
Well, your tuition's due August 10th.
Okay.
But if you'd like to stop by my office, and pay it today, you can. But you have to go through your Penguin portal, and no later than August 10th. And again, if you have questions, Penguin Service Center. To me, the thing we want to keep, I guess, messaging beyond all the safety things we're talking about is become really familiar with your ysu.edu/coronavirus
Mhm.
information, and feel free to call the Penguin Service Center, because there are things that come up and so forth. So, but with tuition, August 10th is the day. Any questions, call, go on your portal, and you'll have good instructions on how to take care of that.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. So, President Tressel, moving on, I like to stay on my fitness, like to work out.
Oh, I know.
The iron pumping.
You are rocked up. There's no question.
So for the weight room in the rec center, when will that be open and able for me to use to keep these guns?
Well, you know what? If you keep training the way you're training, and you keep lifting, you can borrow some of my clothes, because you'll be able to fit into them.
All right. Yeah.
Pretty soon. But August 16th, which is the day before class begins, at 1 o'clock. Now, keep in mind, like all of our classrooms, laboratories, any of our spaces, social distancing, it'll be a little bit different. You won't see quite as many people in the weight room. We'll want to be good to each other and our penguins, so maybe get in and get your lift done, because there'll be people maybe waiting because just can't get quite as many people in there. But
Right.
But you can get those guns pumped back up beginning August 16th. In the meantime, just do push-ups.
Yeah, I guess I'll settle for that for now.
There you go.
So when school starts back, I like to travel. I love to do my traveling. So if I travel out of state, if I leave Ohio, contemplating if I come back or not.
What?
Would that have to be reported?
Currently, no. We're following all state guidelines. And right now, the only thing that has to be reported is international travel. Okay. But like all of the things that are happening, and that's why I keep on top of that coronavirus website, is that as anything changes, we'll make sure we put the change on there. But currently, no. And so feel free to travel a little bit. In fact, rumor has it you were in Georgia for a minute.
I was in Georgia for a minute. Very hot.
It was very hot. And so, we didn't have to check you when you got back. Okay, now that was easy. So we talked a little bit about the moving in. Mm-hmm. And so what I've always enjoyed watching when I'd go by Kilcawley or go up by Cafaro or Leiden House is you guys had it like a well-oiled machine with those push carts and move-in crews. And I mean, it was amazing just to see how fast you moved everyone in. Will we have move-in crews again?
And this question really hurts me because with, my shoes, I have a lot of them, so I need a moving crew. But unfortunately, due to COVID and due to social distancing, I think it was decided that it's probably a great idea to not have moving crews. So if you need a moving crew, you might have to bring one with you, because I don't think this semester we'll be providing one.
But we'll still have those carts and everything.
We will.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. Again, everything we do, we want to keep safety in mind and not gather too many people together. And your moving crew is a big group, and so I get it. I know it hurts you to say that, but we have this semester. We got to do everything to be safe so we can stay together. Okay, my second one for you, Avery. Can out-of-state students stay on campus if they're in mid-semester break? Like we have fall break, we have Thanksgiving, we have the Christmas holidays. What's the deal with that?
So fortunate for all of us and for me, we will not be getting kicked out. We are still permitted to stay over, Thanksgiving break and spring break and things like that throughout the fall semester. Things may change and that may cause for your safety that we have to move. But for right now, we are still able to have you guys here throughout the whole semester.
Beautiful. That's a good thing. So we want to be very safe and organized and have great housing situations. Are there any employment opportunities, housing assistance, or any of those kinds of things that are still open that maybe if I was interested in working on campus, I could apply?
Right. Yeah, you may consider, being a housing director. You need a new job, a new change of scenery. But I guess for me, I wouldn't have all that information. If you were interested in something like that, you may want to check out housing at ysu.edu for information.
Housing. Okay.
Yes.
Housing at ysu.edu.
Exactly.
But chances are there's probably some opportunities still available. So,
Absolutely. I know for a fact that in the courtyards, if you are living there or looking for a job, they are still looking for CAs. So,
what is a CA?
a courtyard assistant.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Courtyard assistant. I only know RAs, resident assistants, and desk clerks, desk people.
Right.
CAs, I learned something new. Courtyard assistant. Okay, I got it. Speaking of our residence halls, are visitors allowed to be there?
Yeah, looking for our sanity that we are allowed some visitors. However, those visitors must be YSU students or a close family member. And you are allowed only 2 visitors at a time, with having no more than 4 visitors in the room at the same time. So keep that in mind when inviting grandma or grandpa or your cousin up to visit.
Well, and again, we want to. One thing our housing people did was they thinned out the numbers in each of our residence halls with the idea of not having as many larger gatherings and just, again, with safety in mind. So we've got to keep the same thing in mind when it comes to visitors.
Right.
And we can't have all the visitors at the same time, I imagine. So, okay. All right, I've got one last one for you.
I'm ready.
And I think I already answered this, so this is too easy. But this question that was sent in was, when will the rec center and gym be open?
Yeah, you kind of did answer it already in the weight room question. It will open the same time the weight room will, August 16th, from 1 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
But check their website, the ysu.edu/campus rec, for fall hours and things like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Avery, Justin was a little concerned about how you would perform today, and I think he'll be proud of you. You did a great job, and thanks for spending time with us. And I'm going to call in someone now that's my boss.
Okay.
If I would have known Galena was going to become a student board of trustees member, I would have been nicer to her last year on campus.
Probably like a plan.
Yeah, but now she's my boss, and so I'm going to have her beam in, or what do you call it? Do you beam in, or what do you do on these?
I think she requests to join, and then you kind of co-live together.
Okay,
I don't think there's really an answer for that. Get it?
Okay, I'm gonna request her to co-live.
Okay,
So I'm looking for the view button. Thanks, Avery.
No problem.
Okay, I'm looking for Galena. I see the view. I see the go live with Galena, and I'm waiting for Galena. And she should be here momentarily.
Hi,
Hey,
President
Galena.
Tressel.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, and again, I told Avery if I knew you were going to become my boss on the board of trustees, I would have been nicer to you. But you told me I get a do-over.
You get a get out of jail free card. Just this one time, though. Just
this one time. Okay. Well, we're going to do the same format. You can toss a couple questions to me, and they've given me a little bit of information as to how to answer them, and then I'm gonna throw 5 questions at you, because since you're like brass, you're on the board of trustees, you can handle more than Avery. So fire away.
All right. I know I got some big shoes to follow now that I just followed Justin and Avery. So our first question is, a lot of students have been asking about the plan with Thanksgiving break. I know a lot of different universities are doing a lot of different things. So what is YSU doing?
Well, currently we're planning on our normal calendar, because we want to make sure that, some universities are saying, well, we're going to get rid of our fall break and we're going to get rid of this holiday, maybe Veterans Day or this day or that day. And we're going to kind of crunch it down and then after Thanksgiving, stay home. we had all those discussions, and we really think some of those breaks intermittently throughout the semester have been healthy and given people a chance to catch up and so forth. So we're going to stay with the same academic calendar. We don't have quite as many people that go a long distance home for Thanksgiving and all of a sudden are coming back from lots of different states and so forth. But like with all of our plans, this world is very fluid. And as we said at the outset, and as we said a week ago, the progress of this semester will be determined how well we do leading up to the semester with our social distancing, with our face coverings, with our hand sanitizers and so forth. So for the moment, same calendar, but I think throughout the entire semester, we're all going to have to stay tuned in, be agile, and be flexible, and make sure we have a successful one.
Absolutely. For Pete's sake, right?
For Pete's sake.
All right. Our next question. So I know there's all kind of different types of classes, like how they're going to look. One of the type is online live. So what will the spaces for online live classes look like on campus?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the interesting things. You might have 3 classes on a particular day, and one of them might be face-to-face, and maybe one of them is web-based, so you can do it when it fits. But then you might go straight from a face-to-face to one of those where you have to be on your computer at that moment with your faculty member, and maybe there might be 5 people in the classroom, but you're not one of them, and so you're going to be where, and that's where we're putting together some spaces, and we'll get the information out to where those common spaces will be. And what we're working very hard on is to make sure that they too have that social distancing. There's plenty of space there, perhaps some technology if we see the need that some people need some technology assistance, obviously good Wi-Fi. So as we get closer, we'll probably publish where those will be, but those will probably be big, large spaces where we can be nice and spread out.
Awesome. Yeah, I know that's going to help a lot of students who have that option. So our next question is about our nursing majors. So I know we have a great nursing program, a lot of students in it. What will nursing clinicals look like?
Well, I was just on the phone yesterday with Dr. Nancy Wagner, who is the director of our School of Nursing and or nursing program. I always tell her we need to call it a School of Nursing, which someday we're going to get there. But Dr. Wagner says we've got an expanded group and that we have been able to attract the ability to have the clinical numbers we need, which is always a challenge because there's always a battle for those clinical spots. But our nurses, our CRNA students, our people that are involved in the clinical part of things will have their clinicals. Obviously, they'll have to really pay attention, to the guidelines and so forth at the facilities that they go to. But we have an amazing nursing faculty, and they have really done a great job. And we have great partners in the area, whether it's Mercy or it's Akron Children or it's Southwoods or, all of the various places. But yeah, our nursing clinicals and all the other clinicals will be ready to go.
Awesome. I know that's going to be really a good thing for all those nursing students out there.
You bet.
So a question from our commuter students, if all of their classes are online and they don't live on campus, can they just stay at home?
Yeah, if their classes are such that they can do all of them in one of those, I guess it would be 4 remote ways. So of course the traditional face-to-face, you need to be there. The ones who are agile hybrid campus, whereas you might need to be there a day or two, and a day or two you won't be there, but you have to be tuned in during that hour. Obviously, the days they're supposed to be on campus, be there. Anytime that you are in a remote situation, whether it's with the AHC classes or the online module or the, I forget, the web-based, and is that online live and
virtual campus.
And virtual campus. If you're allowed to be elsewhere, you can be at home, or you can be in one of our study areas that we'll have for you. If you are prescribed to be face-to-face, we really need you there, because we've designed all those face-to-face spaces with the number of people that's safe, and we want to make sure that we do a good job of utilizing our facilities. All right, Galena, I'm ready to fire away. I've got 5 questions for you, so I hope you're ready to go. Okay, so let's say I just really want to change the modality, the class teaching method that I'm signed up for. What do I do if I want to at least ask the question, how would I go about that? Is it possible?
So a great resource on campus. I have utilized them so much. In person, back when the classes were in person, I've called them. It's the Penguin Service Center. They are the one stop for any kind of questions on campus. So any registration or instructions on registration, you can go on the website for it, or you can call the Penguin Service Center at 330-941-6000.
Well, that's the 2 things, Galena, that we really want everyone focused in on. Penguin Service Center, always there for you. I wonder what the hours are for the Penguin. Are they like 24 hours? I was going to say, I haven't seen anyone walking around campus in the middle of the night from the Pollock House, but Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. Friday, 9 to 5. So take advantage of the Penguin Service Center, and also get to know what's on that ysu.edu/coronavirus, because really, if you dig a little bit, and it's good problem solving practice, you can find out the answer to most every one of your questions. So question number 2, for a commuter student, do you think it would be easier to register all classes off campus if possible, rather than hybrid?
So I know a lot of students are commuters, and obviously it's up to the student, but it is, or it may be possible to switch to all of online live or all web-based, but it would have to be, you have to make sure the classes are open, obviously, in the scheduled classes. So to find that out, you can always, once again, our one stop for everything, call Penguin Service Center. They're amazing, they're great, and they will help you with the registration search process.
And I think really, too, the answer, Galena, to that question is there might be some majors that it isn't possible. So we were just talking about clinicals, or maybe some laboratory type things that are a little bit harder to do that. It's possible, but like we've talked about really throughout the whole 50 minutes that we've been on here, us being back here together, having those experiences with one another, and the activities outside of the classroom have as much value, or I should say add to the value of our classroom experience. And so I wouldn't want someone, to miss those, even though they'll look differently. I think taking advantage of those is part of the value proposition.
I totally agree. I think being in person, it just brings a whole nother value to education.
Yeah, no question. Okay, number 3 here, Galena. Will Dunkin', I guess you just call it Dunkin'. It used to be, when I grew up, it was Dunkin' Donuts, but will Dunkin' and Mog Library be open for students to sit and study?
Absolutely. I know a lot of students who, they're commuters, or they even live on campus and they don't want to go back home or to their apartment or their dorm. They like to go sit in Dunkin', grab some coffee, sit in Mog, go to the library, study. It's one of the, in my opinion, one of the most vital parts of campus. And yes, it will be open, but it will be open at a reduced capacity to make sure that everyone will be able to maintain that 6-foot social distancing guidelines set by the CDC.
And the same rules, face coverings, and that type of thing. Now, question that's not on our script, can I get a cup of coffee in Mog Library?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
I hope it's going to open up. It's on the second floor. So you walk right up those stairs and they have a little, it's kind of like a Starbucks. So you get whatever kind of coffee you want. I recommend it. I go there way too often to caffeinate.
Okay. All right. Next question. If I don't understand my schedule, what do I do?
Our friends over at Penguin Service Center, amazing people. They can help you with anything. They can decode your schedule, put it into English terms for you, make sure that you understand what's going on, and they can even help you review it, make changes, add a class, drop a class. They can do everything there.
Wonderful. And lastly, what if at some point a student doesn't feel comfortable coming to an in-person class?
So if the class is also offered online live or web-based, you can call the Penguin Service Center and they can help you review your schedule, see if there is that option to bring it from in person to a more of a hybrid or online live or web-based, and they can help you add that to your course schedule if you so choose.
And so it sounds like to me I should memorize 941-6000.
That's probably one of the most important phone numbers outside of your phone number on campus.
941-6000. So how can we give them a good tip? How do you remember 6,000? What is significant about the number 6,000?
It's the Penguin Service Center.
Okay, there we go.
That's it.
It's the Penguin Service Center. All righty. Well, Galina, thanks so much, and we look forward to working with you on our board of trustees, and so you'll be having a lot of meetings with that, and we always get great contribution from our students. And in fact, before any decision is ever made, at least in the 6 years I've been here, the board members will turn to the students and say, okay, before we make this decision, we need to hear from you one more time. So be prepared. They're going to call on you.
I'm excited. I'm excited to serve.
All righty. Thanks, Galina. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye. We have some questions. Okay, we have 5 minutes left.
And Alyssa's going to request it with you.
Okay. Who is?
Alyssa.
Alyssa's going to come in. Okay. I can, as I'm waiting for Alyssa here, I can answer the first one. Why am I being charged more for online? Well, unfortunately, university costs haven't gone down. In fact, costs have gone up with a lot of what's happening here. There is some construction costs when you put things on a strictly web-based situation. We've been investing in training for our people through our academic continuity team, Jessica Chill and her office. Our faculty have been jumping in to take a course. I think it's called Quality Matters or something like that. And there's some expense there. And and really, I think if you look at some of these universities that are nothing but web-based and so forth, they're really expensive. So, I think we have an amazing value proposition here, great affordability, and unfortunately it's true. There's a little bit more cost, when we go to strictly web-based. So the next one, this is from Rowdy Rowan, and Rowdy wants to know, do we start August 17th? No doubt about it, Rowdy. Be there or be square. We're starting right off the bat, and don't make me ask. Wear your mask. Okay, the next question is from Faith Lynn. Where do we get the YSU face masks? Well, they'll be provided in your For Pete's Sake packet, and you'll be getting more information as to where those will be distributed as we begin the school year. But I think you're going to get at least 2 masks, I believe, in your welcome packet, and we're going to get them YSU logoed, and I think they're still trying to figure out. There's a little competition. Do you like this style? Do you like this style? Do you like the block Y? What are we going to end up doing? So stay tuned, and we'll let you know when you can pick those up. Next question was, what about club sports? And so it's interesting. We said we had 5 minutes left, and the reason why we only have 5 minutes is I happen to have a Zoom call at 1 o'clock with our Missouri Valley Football Conference. And the discussion on athletics and things like club sports is ever changing. You look all over the country. Some people, I know our Horizon League, which is all of our sports other than football, has delayed the beginning of the season until October 1st, and it will probably be a little bit of an abbreviated season. And I know for our 430 student athletes, they're constantly asking the same question. Our club sports, interestingly enough, is our largest student organization on campus, like 371 people last year. And so stay tuned. We're going to have updates as we get CDC guidelines, State of Ohio guidelines, university guidelines. Obviously, our goal is to have intercollegiate athletics. Our goal is to have club sports, but we have to be careful and we have to make those decisions strategically at the time where we need to, but it'll be early August before we can answer that question. What about dining? Was the call. Now, the answer they gave me is about 400 words here, so I might have to read here. So we're going to be opening Chrisman Dining Commons and retail dining throughout the campus. Duncan will open this week and is scheduled to open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 1:30. Chick-fil-A is tentatively scheduled to reopen Monday, August 3rd, and will be open from 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. Normal or regular hours of operation for all of those locations will begin starting Saturday, August 15th, or Monday, August 17th. So stay tuned. The following locations are slated not to reopen this fall because of social distancing and the space of their facility, and that's Melt, the Hub Kilcawley Center, Chopped and Wrapped, and Hisho Sushi. Is that how you say it? Hisso Sushi. I'm not a sushi guy. Which is in the Cove. Those will not be open, at least as we begin the semester. Now, we'll have to see, just like everything, it's going to be fluid. We hope things get better as the weeks go, and that's our goal. That's why we're going to have a great 26 days and keep social distancing and face coverings and hand washing and so forth. We will have pre-packed sushi from Hisho and your favorites from Chopped and Wrapped at the various grab-and-go locations throughout the campus. So anyway, feel free to continue asking questions. We had lots of questions. They were great questions. It's 12:59 or whatever it happens to be, and I've got to get on to my next call. We appreciate you stopping in and viewing with us. We're going to, I think, get together next week on something. I'm kind of addicted to this Wednesday. We'll get back on to talk to you because every day we're learning more things that we want to share with you, getting more questions. And so our desire is to communicate, and then get back together on August 17th. Have a great day.